during my growth period. I was working in Pune ashram. I was working for him. I'm working for him since last 44 years. But he never looked at me. I never appreciated. He never said a good word about me for 5 years. When I used to pay my respect, I tell you, when I was in Rajeshpuram and we used to stand in a queue in drive-by and Bhagwan car will pass slowly and we all used to do namaste. And Bhagwan will return namaste with a smile. During my test period in 83, I was in Rajeshpuram, and whenever the car will reach near me, Bhagwan will turn his head. He will not look at me. It was a great insult. I have traveled from Nepal, I spent so much money, a poor person traveled to America just to have a darshan. And he is not looking at me. So I thought this position was not good. I should, next day, in drive-by, I should stand in somewhere else. Next day also same thing. He was very kind and smiling to people who are standing in queue. As soon as he looked at, when he come near me, either his eyes became very angry, like Bodhidharma. You have seen Bodhidharma eyes? Like this. As if there is no compassion. No? It was a great insult. Third day I thought, because Bhagwan when he was driving, he used to give extra attention to Bhagwan's mother because she was old and she had become widow. So Bhagwan was very kind. And she used to, Bhagwan used to stop his car near her and give her blessings and dance. So I thought and Bhagwan's mother, I had a very good relationship. I lived in their house in Gadarwara, so I know them very well. So she was very kind to me. So I thought I must stand near Bhagwan's mother. I didn't give up. No. So he will pay attention. So I was standing next to Bhagwan's mother. Bhagwan stopped the car, looked at the mother and gave her energy and lot of attention. And then immediately he looked at me with a Bodhidharma eyes. Or Gurdjieff, you have seen Gurdjieff picture, no? Bodhidharma or Gurdjieff. I wrote him a letter that Bhagwan, you are worse than Gurdjieff. I was so angry. But that way he was maturing me. That I could understand much later. So in 83, I lived in Rajeshpuram, world celebration. For many weeks, he never looked at me, never replied my letter. I wrote him many letters, and all the reply was very, very strong. There's no love, there's no care. And I was working for him in Nepal, running a center. So I thought I will never come back to Rajeshpuram. Better go, I should go back to Nepal and work. Because there I am a teacher, I am a guru. People respect me. If people know that Bhagwan don't look at me, who will respect me in Nepal? Sooner, it's better to go back. I wanted to stay a little longer, but looking at his behavior, it looks better that I should go back. Then I asked Sila that you go and ask Bhagwan, should So if I stay in Rajneeshpuram, I feel like going back to Nepal. And the message came from outside house, from Bhagwan, that he should go sooner is better. I thought this is my last visit to Rajneeshpuram. I will never go back. Because I spent so much money, so much trouble traveling from Nepal. Nepal is a poor country. $1 is nowadays 100 rupees Nepali. I spent a huge amount of money, and I was not, that time my financial condition was also not good. I've sold so many things to go to Rajneeshpuram. My camera, my motorbike, so many things I've sold to go to Rajneeshpuram. And I got such a good treatment. So there is a world celebration every year in Rajneeshpuram in July. There used to be world celebration from 30 June to 6 July. So next year there was no question of my going. I didn't go. In 85, I tell you a story very interesting. Ma Lakshmi was Bhagwan's secretary, and she had a difference with Sila. So Sila also kicked her out from Rajneeshpuram. So she was living in New York, selling Indian pakoda and things like that, and that way she was maintaining her life in New York. And New York also, Sila wrote to all sannyasis that nobody should support Lakshmi, and anybody who will support Lakshmi will be banned from Rajneeshpuram. So nobody was supporting Lakshmi, and Lakshmi had a very hard time. She was very devoted to Bhagwan. She is an example of a disciple. She was a perfect disciple, Lakshmi, Mayog Lakshmi. You should read her about her life. So she was arrested by immigration people because she didn't have proper visa. And they asked her that if you give all the clues against Sila, then he will give her a green card and she will be allowed to stay. Otherwise she will be deported. But she was so devoted, she didn't say a word against Sila. She was beaten in the prison house. She was tortured, she was made naked. They did all type of torture to her. And they deported her because she didn't have visa. So deported her, and she was in Delhi. And she was also very sick and no money. She was also going through the acid test by Osho. No money and living in a one room, rented room in Delhi. So I heard this story, and that increased my anger against my master, that my master is a real cruel master. He does not love this Lakshmi. He is also very cruel at me, and he is also very cruel at Lakshmi. So my anger doubled. Then in 85, I received a letter from Sila that Bhagwan wants that you should come to Rajneeshpuram for world celebration. I was not interested to go, but the letter was clear that I must. Bhagwan said that you must be there in Rajneeshpuram. We were old-time friends, so I met her. Whatever small money I have supported her. And I told her that I have been called by Sila that Bhagwan wants to be in Rajneeshpuram. So I am going in Rajneeshpuram. Now, I see your condition and you are in a very miserable condition. Why don't you write me a letter? Give me a letter, I will reach your letter to Bhagwan, because I knew that Sila was against Lakshmi. There was politics all the time. Near enlightened master, there is always great politics. So there was always great politics around Osho throughout. So Sila was creating politics, and she was not allowing Lakshmi message to reach to Bhagwan. So I said, give me a letter. I know Bhagwan's mother. I will give that letter to Bhagwan mother. And Bhagwan, so you write everything, whatever the injustice Sila has done with you, you write in a piece of paper and give it to me. Lakshmi was a perfect disciple. She said, my God, do I have to write things? Master knows everything. And I don't have to tell him. He knows everything. And whatever is happening with me is happening for my growth. I have no complaint. I have nothing to write against Sila or anything. I was surprised to see her surrender. I said, good, but you tell me something because I am going to Rajeshpuram. Tell me what I can do for you in Rajeshpuram. She said that you can do only one thing. In drive-by, when Bhagwan gives, but that was only time we could have darshan. In drive-by, when Bhagwan car will pass, first time you bow down for yourself, you pay your respect, and second time you bow down for me and convey my pranam and my respect to the Master. That's the only thing you can do. And rest, leave it, because Bhagwan is taking care of me and I'm totally surrendered to him and he knows what is good for me. I have no complaint. I'm telling you, friend, a surprise story, very, very interesting to you. So I traveled from Delhi on way. I was reluctant to go to Rajeshpuram because I know I will be mistreated in Rajeshpuram. Also, by mistreating me since many years now. So I thought I was not very happy, but I didn't have that much anger that I could say no. I still love him for Osho. So I spent a week in London on way with a friend's house, and the next week I reached Rajeshpuram. In Rajeshpuram, in drive-by, at 2 o'clock, you have to stand on the way, Bhagwan will pass. That was the only time you can have a darshan. So I stood in the line. I was whole night traveled from London to Rajeshpuram. I have not slept. I was very tired. And I had some Nepalese friend with me. They have also traveled with me. So I knew that Bhagwan is not going to look at me. He is not going to pay any attention. But if this Nepalese boy notice that I am neglected, they will lose all respect for me. So better I should hide myself. So when Bhagwan car came, I just go down without looking at his face, just go down, looking at the tire of the car, not at Osho. Pay my respect, but not looking, I know he is not going to look at me. Then car passed. My friend thought I go down out of respect, but it was out of anger. I came back in my room and I was resting. Then Sila's secretary, there was Indian Mukta, she was Sila's secretary. She came running and she told me that Sila wants to see you in her Jesus Grove this evening at 6 o'clock. And you should be freshly bathed and don't use any perfume and come in fresh clothes. I could not understand. I thought Sila will again shout at me. Maybe she have done some mistake because she was very hard taskmaster. So I said, okay, 6 o'clock I will come. At 5:45 or 5:30, Sila sent a car for me to go to her office. I went to her office. Then Sila told me that you go and wait in my drawing room. But I was told to go into other room. 7 days before, I have met Lakshmi in Delhi in a very pitiable condition. When I entered into Sila's drawing room, library drawing room, I was surprised because Lakshmi was sitting there in a chair. In her passport they have a stamp that never she will be allowed to enter into America because she has overstayed the visa. So was deported for lifetime and never allowed to enter into America. I was surprised because she had no money, no passport, no visa. How can she be in America? And she was sitting on the chair, sofa, and looked healthy. I hugged her and said, Lakshmi, it is a surprise to me how you are here. 7 days before I had met you in Delhi and you didn't have a penny and no passport and no visa. How you managed to be here in Rajeshpuram 7 days? She said that I told you that Master knows everything and he takes care, and when he will think proper, things will happen. So it has happened. Then Lakshmi and Sheila came, and Sheila said that, look guy, I have to give you a surprise. She was very hard taskmaster. You know Sheila how she speaks, if you've seen in video. Very arrogant lady. She said that, look, Osho, after drive-by, Osho called me, and Bhagwan called me. He said that this evening, call Lakshmi and Sheila to meet me in person in outside house. I want to give them darshan. But Bhagwan was in silence those days. He was not meeting anybody. Bhagwan was not meeting anybody. So it is a special privilege to you, because Bhagwan don't give darshan and don't come in public. So it is a special privilege to you. So don't tell anybody. Keep it a secret. If you tell anybody that you have been given darshan, I will throw you out from Rajeshpuram. Okay. So when we went, she took us in the car in Lao Tse house. And we were there with Bhagwan for 1.5 hours. Me, Lakshmi and Sheila. And Bhagwan showered so much love upon me and so much love upon Lakshmi. He inquired about Lakshmi's health and said that, Lakshmi, now you live in the ashram in Rajeshpuram. She said, what work I will have to do, because Sheila is your secretary, so you designate what work I have to do. Bhagwan said, no, you have worked throughout your life for me, and now you are frail and sick. Now live like a princess. Don't work, just enjoy your stay. And then ask Sheila to give her a good room, good house, good car, everything, and take care of Lakshmi. So I was surprised that Bhagwan is so kind. And also he looked at me, he said that, he asked about Nepal work. I narrated him everything. He asked about my mother and father. So every family matters that narrated to him. Then he said that you are doing wonderful job in Nepal. I'm very happy with you. I was surprised. What is happening? Then both Bhagwan was sitting on the chair. One side was Lakshmi, one side I was sitting. Sheila was sitting at a distance. So I was so overblamed by emotional. I became so over emotional. I was started crying. And I was touching his feet again and again, putting my head on feet again and again. I was crying. So when Bhagwan was talking to Lakshmi, that was my time to touch his feet and cry at his feet. And when Bhagwan will say, Arun, now you have to tell me what we are doing in Nepal, then Lakshmi will cry on her feet. When I was talking, Lakshmi was crying. It's a turn by turn. And then he told Sheila that, where you are staying, Bhagwan said, because I was staying in a poor hut, that was a poor tent, that was cheapest, $500 you get tent. And for room it was more, and I didn't have much money to give more. Then Bhagwan said to Sheila that, no, give Arun a good room, he has worked so hard. So give him an air-conditioned good room and don't charge him anything. And can you drive, Arun? You need car? I give you a car. I asked, why the lottery is coming to me? I said, I don't need car, Bhagwan. I don't need car. I don't know how to drive right-hand side. No, we drive left-hand side. So I don't need car because there's a lot of facility here. So then Bhagwan told me, you stay here as long as you want to stay. I don't need to pay any money. And any facility you want, you ask Sila. She will give you all the facility. And he asked Sila to take care of me and Lakshmi. So it was so much love from the master. You cannot imagine. And some beautiful thing happened, friend, which for that I'm telling this story. Otherwise this story has no meaning. Because Osho was very hard upon both of us, on Lakshmi and on me. Bhagwan was very hard for few years. He was passing us through a acid test. So it was a surprise for both of us that he is so kind and taking so much care. But he has not called us for talking. Master is not interested in gossip. He has called us for some spiritual transformation. Mayog Lakshmi became enlightened in that very meeting at the feet of the Master. That was a process. She was gone through a process, and Master was taking all the tests, and she was given so much love and care that she crossed the barrier of mind and she became enlightened that very moment at Bhagwan's feet. Enlightenment is a difficult thing. It takes life. So Mahalakshmi became enlightened in front of me in that meeting. And I also attained self-realization. There is two grades of enlightenment. One is God realization, that's the ultimate enlightenment, that's the nirvana. I could not attain that, but I attained just below, it's called self-realization, when you realize your own self-center. Atma Bodh. In Hindi, in Sanskrit we call Atma Bodh. This ultimate realization is Paramatma Bodh. No? That is seventh body realization. And the sixth body realization is Atma Bodh. So Atma Bodh happened to me also. I became self-realized there at his feet. And Lakshmi became God realized, one stage above. So in a way, self-realization is also a realization. We don't consider it is ultimate because one stage remains ahead. But also it is a very difficult to realize self. It takes life and life of meditation. It does not happen to realize who you are. Self-realization means to know who you are, to know your center. And God realization is you know that you are a cosmic consciousness and you are the God. So that is one stage further up. So we both became enlightened that evening. She became God realized, I became self-realized. In 90 minutes of darshan, Osho. It was not an ordinary darshan, it was for our transformation. After we came back from Lao Tse house, I was a different person. She was a different person. And what we gained in Bhagwan's presence in those 90 minutes, I could not have gained by my own effort in 90 life. Even if I meditate for 90 life, nobody will guarantee that I will get a realization. It's not a joke. Only master can create such situation. A master knows what is good for you. You don't know. Through your ego, you will always misunderstand master. You will misunderstand things because ego, it don't allow you to see things as they are. If somebody pump up your ego, he will look to you great person. A master has two jobs. Sometimes he will pump up your ego, and when your ego becomes too big, then he will pin it. Balloon, no? Just a pin, a balloon. And ego is shattered. So master has to do very difficult tasks. So his anger and his love, both is for your growth. When he loves you, he wants that you should become free. And when he sometimes hammer at your head, the same objective, he wants that you should be free. The freedom is the only objective in master mind, that you should be free from all misery, all bondage of life forever. There is no other projects. Happiness, we seek happiness. We need success. These things have got no value, no eternal value. If you have more money or less money, or live 5 years more or die 5 years earlier, these things have got no significance. You have a bigger house or a smaller house, what does it matter? If you are in bondage, you will create misery for yourself again and again. And in this life, in another life, if you are free, you are free forever. So master project is the freedom from all limitation. So we are very fortunate that we have such a powerful master. Never leave him. You can live any pleasure of life, any success of life. Never leave the feet of a master. Always hold that feet very strongly. Whether it is a good season, bad weather, good weather, success, failure, happiness, misery, all this season will pass. Don't worry. But you will not get an opportunity to get a master like Osho again. Not even Buddha, not even Krishna. Not so much freedom to enjoy all the pleasure of life. And still he holds in your hand and he takes you up, makes you free from this world. So we are very fortunate, friend, that we have a master. I consider myself the most fortunate person on this planet that I met Osho.